Maine. Very fortunate, Lester, that I'm spending my birthday talking to you. C'est pas my
special day, huh?
It's not your birthday, it's mine, but I'm 74 years old today, and you're a special interview for me. Lester and I have known each other for a long time. We're both very good golfers.
We have fun trying.
Yeah, although he hits longer than me. Now this house we're in today, Lester, is
Mom and Dad's.
your
That they
mother?
built after they sold the dealership to me back in '77.
So this house has been here since then,
Right.
and now it's empty.
Now it's empty.
Your mother died a year ago.
Last January 29th,
How old was she?
93.
93, huh?
And the only reason I'm doing this for you, Mark, is I want to honor my parents for what they've done
Yeah,
for everyone around, community-wise, family-wise,
yeah.
and with a little bit of education they've had. My great-great-grandfather was Bouchard. He had two families. His first wife, he had 6 kids. She passed away at childbirth. He remarried and had 7 kids. The 7th and 6th kid were twins, and that was my grandfather, Oscar Bouchard.
Okay.
Oscar married Georgienne Zion, Christine Zion, from Allagash.
Really?
They used to live down by, oh boys, can't remember the exact community, but anyway, it was on a farm. And they had a big flood back in the 1900 early, and Grand-Père Zion wanted to move. He wanted to bring the kids and the family out. But his wife says, no, we're not. So he decided that he was going to do it anyway, so he brought the canoe to the porch. And the kids got in. Ma tante Georgienne, that was married to Tom Bouchard of Waterville, she was a baby then. She was about 3 years old. She got in the canoe and she fell overboard. And Grand-Mère grabbed her on the other side of the canoe when she came by the hair and brought her out. She walked off and she went on top of the roof of the house and said, if you want to go, you go, and we're staying here.
Now, this is Allagash, and the name is Zion?
Zion, yeah.
That must have been an odd
Well,
name
in those times, in those years, all the French had migrated to the valley here, plus the Allagash.
Yeah.
They went by boat. Huh?
Well, a lot of pelletiers.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's why they stayed there. But anyway, coming back to Fort Kent, Grand-Mère Christine married Oscar. Oscar's father apparently owned most of the land on Strip Road. So he cut up the land, parcel lands to his sons.
Strip roads are that...
From Alban Bouchard to Soldier Pond.
Alban Bouchard to Soldier Pond. That's what's called
Yeah.
a strip. So at that time, that was all woods.
Yeah. And to give you the age a little bit, the Grand-Père Damas, my great-grandfather, he got married in 46 the first time. And his second wife, he married her in 1846.
Yeah.
And the second one was 1861.
Okay. Now, these people probably came from Quebec, huh?
Yeah.
Like most of us.
Yes, because my uncle Damas, which is Pepe's brother, lived with Pepe after he retired, but he was living more in Saint Alexandre
Okay.
with Ernest, his son, and he had 2 sons and 3 daughters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's how the farm started for Grand-Père Oscar.
Grand-Père Oscar had that parcel of land. His other brother, one of his other brothers, owned where the golf course is.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah. They're the ones that actually chopped up the land there to make it a farm.
Now, when we bought that, the golf club in 1970 bought that, it was from who?
That was from the
Dubois, huh?
Dubois, yeah.
And so he had bought that farm from your uncle.
I think there was another one in between that. I'm not sure.
Oh,
but,
okay.
Yeah.
So it's funny that now we go there often.
Yeah.
And
The old homestead for me.
yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, my father, Gilman, was working on the farm day in, day out as a son of a farmer. They didn't go to school much.
So, Oscar, là, comment est-ce qu'il y a eu d'enfants? Là?
He had 3 daughters and 7 boys.
Edmund was one of them?
Yeah, Edmund was the oldest of the boys. Then it was Mata Georgienne. And before that, there was Lizzie and Charlie. Lizzie, she died at 17 months, and Charlie died at 14 years old.
Really?
Lizzie died of emphysema. Charlie, je pense qu'il appendicite de cause, I'm not sure.
Which was common then.
Yeah.
Now, la belle maison, that beautiful farmhouse with a great view.
That's Uncle Edmund's place.
So did Oscar build that, or did Edmund?
No, that was Edmund.
Oh, okay.
The farmhouse that Oscar had, that was Uncle Paul's place, which is right in front of where Mrs. Wilfrid Socia was living. After Wilfrid died, she made a trailer across the street. The farmhouse was Paul Bouchard's. That's where Pepe Bouchard was born.
Oh, okay.
Not born, but lived.
So that house is not there anymore?
Yes, it is.
It is?
It is, but it's changed style a little bit.
Okay.
As you go into Wallgrass, Slybrook, you see this big garage made out of cinder blocks on the side of the road.
Whoa,
That's the place.
Okay. So that's where your father lived?
That's right.
Il travaillait sur la ferme.
Il a travaillé là, puis he went to school till the 7th grade. But that was only by super but qu'il appelle.
Ouais.
You know, when it was nice, they were going to school. When the weather was bad, they'd be cutting wood to sell for firewood and make money for the farm.
Yeah.
And at 14 years of age, he started working in the woods. He worked at McKean River or Brook, whatever they call it, Michaud Farm and Clayton Lake. He worked from 1935 to 1937. After that, he came out of the woods, and he was still helping on the farm, and he got himself a part-time job as mechanic at I used with it, selling Studebakers in town.
Oh, yeah.
And
Wasn't that on top of the station hill?
Yes, that's where the old silver dollar went.
Oh,
Remember?
okay. Yeah. Now, see, Auguste Ouellet, lui, I bought my lot from him.
Yeah.
When I moved to town, I bought it in 61.
Yeah.
And his garage had already burned down.
Yes.
It was just the foundation was there. And there was a big power station there.
Yes, there was, yeah.
And the wires would go across the St. John River into Clare. And I think that's where Noble
Just having an airplane.
lost a plane there the years before that. But anyway, Auguste Ouellet, so your father started working for him?
Dad was on the farm. He was a mechanic for everyone.
Okay.
I mean, anything broke down, c'est Dad qui allait ça, les handwear, les digueux, les chevaux, les Nolan engines.
Yeah.
He was the one that could fix anything. I mean, if you didn't have the part, he couldn't make it. I mean, he was not a replacer of parts, he was a repairer. And that's why, after he worked at Ayus with it, he got married in 1941 with Mom. He was 26, Mom was 24.
And who was she?
She was Blanche Dubé. Her father died when she was 3 years old. Her mother remarried a year and a half later to Thomas Gaillon. He had 3 kids. Ma mère had 2 kids. She had Madame Bertha, a designer, Bertha Tzbado,
Okay.
and Mom. And Papa Gaillon had Camille, Omile, puis Aurélien. Tadeo. Ah, excuse-moi. Non, il n'y avait pas Aurélien. Il y avait Camille, Omile, puis Eva.
Okay.
Eva, Albert. Anyway, they married, and they had Aurélien, they had Edmond Gagnon, they had Albertine, il y avait Thérèse, puis Tigui. Those were all half-sisters and brothers to Mom.
Yeah.
Although she was as close to her brothers, so close that when they got married, one of the step-brothers called her and says, I want to see a picture with your wedding dress on. You come here on your way to Connecticut and bring your outfit and Gil too. I'm going to have you a picture taken at Summerswit. That's the picture right there.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Well, let's look at that right now. Where did they take it?
Summerswit, New Hampshire.
Oh, yeah. Ça, c'est ton père et ta mère, ça?
That's right. Mom weighed 95 pounds.
Isn't that doesn't look like Gil Bouchard.
No.
Well, he was 26, you know.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, well, that's a nice souvenir, right? 1941.
Yeah.
Thank you.
They moved to Connecticut,
Oh, is that right?
and that's where they started their life together. They moved there, and they moved. And my tante Bertha was married to Eddie Alban, and she was in Connecticut. So when they got to Connecticut, that's where they stayed for a few months until he found an apartment and a job, of course. So they found an apartment above a bakery, 3 floors up. And I guess they had the big job of bringing furniture upstairs because the stairways were pretty crooked. Wow. So he had to hoist everything out of the windows with a chain block. And he got everything up, and when they moved, brought everything down again the same way.
Now, people were moving to Connecticut.
Yeah, that was...
Now, this is during the war.
That's, yeah, he would move there in 41, not quite.
Not quite, no. It started in December, so...
Yeah.
Did he get called in to...
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. He was working in the ammo factory.
The what?
Ammunition.
Okay.
And Mom was working in the shoes and boots. She was making boots and shoes. They stayed there till 44. When he was called to go to service, he could get deferred if a brother or a father needed him on the farm. I was born in 42, so he didn't want to leave Mom alone with the kid. So they decided...
So you're the oldest one?
I was the oldest, yeah. So they decided to come back to Fort Kent. Uncle Dominic was the one that got him to sign the paper that he was needed on the farm. So he came back, worked on the farm during the summer months. In the winter months, we were living at Fort Kent Village.
Okay.
Across the street from Mickey's Road.
Yeah.
And he had a big cellar there, and he would fix cars there for himself or for customers. And at the same time, he built 2 water sprayers, one for Uncle Isaiah and the other one for Uncle Paul. Because that's when they were just starting to go with tractors de la masse de chevaux.
Yeah.
Puis sprayer can add 300 gallons. He made that all with wood, laminated wood, barrel type, with a Nolan engine on there. And he built 2 sprayers in a month.
You invented that?
I don't know if he patented it, yeah.
Yeah.
And then at the same time of that, this garage was on the market to be sold. But Uncle Edmund was the oldest, and Edmund and Dad were, not just Edmund, the whole family was real close. But Edmund Bouchard.
Oh, yes.
Edmund Bouchard was the oldest of the family, puis Gil, il dit, le garage à Fort Kenville est à vendre, puis ça serait juste pour toi. Voilà. Gil, Edmund, il ne peut pas afford ça.
Ça, c'est Camille Degg qui avait ça, hein?
Dans le temps, c'était Edgar Cigar was in.
Ah.
Camille Degg owned the garage when it first built. And it was built just as a filling station, no doors at all. Oh. Just a little grocery store and pumps.
Yeah.
Camille, that was built in 38 by Edouard Pelletier. Edouard had built the garage plus all the string of potato houses. And then he would lease or sell.
Oh, okay.
It was l'argent, but
right.
So Camille bought it first. Then it went to a Mr. Pelletier. And then Cigar was in.
Oh.
And in 47, that's when we bought. Mais donc, il m'a dit, what that? It's, non, je peux pas le 40. Viens, moi, ça va faire un sauveur. Il y a tout le temps à la banque. First National, qui restait là, or something like that.
What, First National?
And he got money for that. Bought it. And then they moved. And it was understood that Seagal was in who wanted to go work in the woods. That was a woods guy, you know.
Okay.
So I think he said, your house, you've got to sell that. Yeah, I'll buy it from you. So they moved homes.
Oh, yeah, they traded.
Yeah. That house, the garage, when they bought it, had 2 apartments upstairs. Stairway on both sides of the building. And Monsieur Petier was still living there at the time. Monod could have set up. So when he moved out, nobody else came in, and Dad opened up the whole upstairs and made a beautiful home.
That was your home?
Yeah.
Now,
I was raised there all the time.
Did Camille have his dance hall at that time?
That's when Camille built his dance hall.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That was very popular, huh?
Oh, yeah, that's...
Right across the street from you.
Right across.
Which is today Doris Cafe.
Yeah, it went from a dance hall to a pajama factory to offices, and then now it's post office and a restaurant and some offices in the back.
So there's still a post office at Fort Kent Mills?
Oh, yeah.
Oh. So they were trying to downsize the post offices, and they got rid of one in Frenchville there. It used to be Upper. And
Yeah.
now they've got one between.
Mm-hmm.
So Camille, lui, là, I'm just, because you were there, just about the same time that your father bought the garage, he built that, and there were a lot of flyboys there, weren't there, in those days? And
Saturday night special, c'était plein de flyboys, puis des gars d'Algas, puis tout le tour. I mean, that place was packed every Saturday night.
Il y avait des chicanes?
Oh, yeah. Il y avait de la chicane.
Yeah.
Yeah. Puis on avait les corps qui étaient là, mais en diole. Après ça, deux autres diole, les corps prennent ça dans le dehors, le diole.
Yeah.
I
heard somebody got killed there one
Yes,
time.
we had a flyboy that died.
Yeah.
Not right at the accident, but not too long after he died, and they blamed it on the accident.
Yeah.
Not the accident, but on the fight.
So you witnessed all that?
Oui.
You're just a little kid now at the time. What year was you born?
42.
42. So now.
When I was 16, when I was 17, I started going to the dance.
Oh, okay.
And 17 till I got married. 2 years later. Anyway, even before that. But anyway.
But you, voyons, Camille, lui, là, he sold it to Pat Dumont.
Pat Dumont, yeah.
And that still continued to be
Still a dance hall.
You know, that's one place I never went. I had
Really?
never been there. I think it had changed. No, when I came in '63, I thought the Lions met there for a while.
No.
They never did.
Oh, I say no.
I think they
I wouldn't
did.
know.
When I started, when they were meeting at Claude's restaurant.
Yes. Yeah.
And mais ça faisait pas longtemps là. And then Mr. Dunn started his pajama factory.
That's right. Mr. Dunn started first, and then Pat. And then after that, we had a warehouse besides that.
Yeah. Young.
Yeah.
Byron
Young.
And he was a partner with Edgar
Babin.
Babin.
Yeah.
Yeah. There was like MPG, wasn't it MPG they had?
Might have been.
Yeah. Was that after Dunn moved his factory to where it is now? Okay.
Yeah.
After Dunn moved to where...
Fort Kent.
Fort Kent Industrial Park, MPG came in with Byron Young and Edgar Babin. I remember that.
Yeah, Phil Sear was working for them.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
And I wonder when the restaurant came in. That's been there quite a while.
The restaurant came in,
must be there 30 years now. No. 1980, no?
I really don't know.
Yeah. It's been there a long time.
Yeah, it has, because when we work in the shop, we used to go eat lunch there.
Yeah. And Doris, which is...
From 84, anyway. Yeah.
84, see, so we're talking 30 years.
That's right.
That this has been a restaurant. Doris Paradis.
Yeah.
And she's been gone quite a while.
Yeah.
And is that her son, or is that her...
John was her son.
Okay. And he's the one running it now.
No, it's Linda now. Linda's her sister. Linda is Doris's sister.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah.
Oh.
Went back to the original family, actually.
Okay.
Yeah.
Be John, Dixie.
Around a carpenter, I don't know where, but
on
and off. Yeah.
Okay, Linda is Doris' sister, and she's
Yeah.
running it, and it's still going very
And
good.
they're super. I mean,
Yeah,
you can't ask for a better service in a small clientele.
yeah,
And they're busy. Saturday mornings, the place is packed.
yeah,
They have a good breakfast, price-wise,
yeah.
and they have a nice meal for dinner, and the place is immaculate. I mean,
Yeah, and then
Linda, after everybody's gone at 2:30, she cleans and cleans, and she's still there till 6 o'clock at night. In the morning, she's there at 4 and 5 o'clock to start not cooking them.
everything homemade.
Yeah.
So you witnessed all that, but right across the street
Right
from
across
you.
the
Isn't that something? So now it's 1947. Your father buys that garage. You put plaster for mechanic work there yet.
Wait, no, that yet. He's got one door. When he bought it, there's a filling station for one door. That Edgar had built, I guess, or expanded then. Edgar was
Oh,
there.
okay.
So he was a working mechanic. And in 40, that was in 47. In 48, Dad had the itch. He wanted to sell something. He wanted to sell some tractors. He was still a farm boy. Mom, her father was a partial farmer and woodman and whatever. They always had trouble, and they lost everything they had. And a lot of farmers were losing their money in farming because some were running it on a whim, not on as a business or whatever, or no luck going with it either.
A lot of that during
Yes.
all those years.
Yeah. Mine, she didn't care for that at all. Gil, on pas point ça. Anyway, we left and we went. Whenever they'd go somewhere out of town, the kids would go for them. So at the time, there was Diane with me. That was 4 years younger than I was. Diane and I were around at the time, so we went with Dad and Mom to Auburn. And he went to see Alice Chamber. It was an outlet there. Puis maman se gardait la tête, non, Gil, puis il voulait avoir ça.
That was a tractor company.
Yeah. Anyway, on his way back, he saw a chainsaw place, Pioneer Chainsaws, another outlet. So he didn't sign any contracts with anybody, but he went to see the chainsaws. Puis maman dit, ça, oui, elle dit, les chainsaws, c'est du bois, ça. Il y a de la bonne business. So he got into Pioneer Chainsaws.
So that was just starting the chainsaw.
Yeah,
huh?
yeah. Hey. The thing bad with chainsaws was he had to work from Saturday to almost Monday morning to deliver the chainsaws for the guys to go in the woods. You know, c'était mind-boggling. C'était un week-end.
The weekend était top.
Les gars coupaient du bois jusqu'à vendredi soir. Aujourd'hui, ça allait à jeudi, mais...
Ouais.
Anyway, so he did that for a while, and...
So these were big chainsaws, right?
Yeah, they were 35 pounds.
The first ones, and then they must probably...
Then they got to be 18, 15 pounds. So
They must have needed repairs a lot.
The first chances he had, you couldn't push it sideways because the carburetor would flood. It was the bar that would turn. You know, we'd turn the bar sideways. And when the inverted carburetors came in, well, then it the reed valve, ça se travaillait. Puis ça t'était en bas, ça marchait pareil.
And were there a lot of more accidents with chainsaws, do you think?
No.
You don't think so?
No.
But you had to be real strong to carry that all day.
Oh, yeah.
And so he sold those and repaired them.
Traveled to Allagash, went to customers, went to Allagash to collect sometimes, and not just Allagash. He went to Portage, and he did it the whole nickel and dime stuff. Uncle Dominic was working for Tom Pinkham at the time. He was the boss of a group in Allagash, and then he moved to Ashland.
Now, Dominic is your father's brother.
Yeah, he's the second oldest from the oldest. And he said, Tom, you know, he says, Gil says, could fix those trucks for you. Yeah, but garage down. And he had those GM, you have to say, the Boomis. It was a truck that was made from 3 different makes. Chevy was selling it, but Daddy Wheeler's Dad had to enlarge, make a extra door, a big door for the trucks. So he did that, and then he got Tom's business for 4 years, which was a hell of a nice income for the time that he was doing
Now that
work.
was in like around 1950.
Yeah, from 50 to 54.
Okay.
And in 55, 54, Harry got rid of the Dodge. He was selling Dodge cars.
Iriskowitz?
Yeah. Dodge cars and trucks.
Ah.
So,
Was he selling both GM and
no, GM came in and
okay, replaced Dodge.
replaced Dodge, yeah.
Okay.
So Dad was offered by Chrysler. They came right to our doorsteps and says, we need you as a truck dealer. Would you be interested? Dad wasn't caring for cars, but because it's a truck community, you know. The truck that go up, trucks that farm.
Yeah.
And he didn't want to go too big all at once, so he took the Dodge trucks, and his first truck came in 1955. And he sold that to farmers right and left, and Raoul Paradis bought a wheeler, Uncle Paul bought a wheeler.
What?
A wheeler,
What's
10-wheeler, double
Oh.
wheels in the back of them.
Okay.
And Ernie Charette bought our first pickup in 1957, swept line. Il y avait des wings that goes up, pareil comme une Dodge Hall at 57.
Okay. Yeah.
Blanc et noir. Hey, that was a hell of a truck.
Heard about that.
Yeah. Pas June, mais Joel, c'est mon nom, Paul. Benoît Cadman. C'était un raceux au bout, puis il avait acheté un pick-up 55. Je dirais pas, c'est le TV, c'était presque pas ça en même temps. Roland, il est plus take off, je peux parler.
Oh yeah, don't.
Roland Dumont, c'était son beau-frère.
Oh, really?
Il est marié Beulah, puis Beulah, c'est la sœur à Roland. Fait que Joel dit, ton Ford, hein? Je te garantis, moi, je te colle du traxit, puis j'arrive au driving avant toi. Puis sans essayer, c'est vrai.
Is that right?
Oh, yeah.
Well, Joel is young.
Oh, yeah. He died of cancer of the legs.
Yeah, and he was young.
I think he was 40 years old or something like that.
Yeah, and I remember that. I knew him. I don't know if he was a patient of mine or something. He didn't live here, yeah, when he died.
Yes.
Oh, he did?
Yeah, he was living right in front of Albert Bouchard, so before Albert Bouchard, the big house on the right,
Okay.
on the left, rather.
He never stayed away? Never were...
He worked in the woods.
Okay.
Trucking.
I'm thinking of somebody else. But anyway, I know he died young, and he had cancer, huh?
Yeah.
So, but he liked to race cars.
Yeah.
Well, you see, if you're mechanically inclined, you like all these things.
Right.
Now, when did your father give up his chainsaws?
Oh, right then and there.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, he got rid of them when he got the trucks. Yeah.
Parce que là, he didn't like that too much. It was
Well, he liked it, but, you know, just had so much time in a day then.
Yeah.
And now he was on heavy machinery trucks. I mean, it's plus d'argent là-dedans, puis la paye est un peu meilleure, puis pas de courir le temps pour collecter.
And then less running around. And, some of those guys that had a chainsaw, you know, they probably had a hard time to earn a living.
Yeah.
And how do you get them to pay their bills? And while the bigger, like Tom Pinkham, that you could guarantee that he would pay you.
We had the trucks, and in '63 when I graduated, well, I shouldn't talk about that now, but anyway, when I graduated from tech school, we got the Dodge cars.
Okay.
But before this all happened, in '48, the fall of '47, when we first moved here, I was playing outside with two of my friends, Nelson Babin and Gil Babin. And Gil Babin, Gil Babin is the one that was working for Leonardo,
right.
running shovel. Anyway, I had a small tricycle, and the old Pareto house, they had a little hill incline from the door to the road, so we'd not pedal, but we'd ride the bike, just push it, and it'd go down by itself.
Oh, yeah.
We were two on the bike, and the third guy would stay back. So one time, one of the guys took off, and myself and the other one went in the Pareto house. On va se cacher. J'ai rentré sur un rack à patates, la poudre de partie, the plank, and I fell in 14 feet on the head. And luckily these kids weren't scared, didn't get scared. they saw me or heard me go down or whatever, and Monsieur Dick Harvey's father-in-law, Romeo Dig, the Dig here, was unloading a load of fertilizer from the railroads into his truck. He had backed into the potato house. You'd say, I think, he said, someone fell in the cellar. I said, oh, no. So he went down and found me. From there, I was out for 3 or 4 days at Eagle Lake.
You mean you were unconscious?
Unconscious for 3 or 4
you
days.
You had fallen on your head?
Yeah. Fractured skull.
So you were
I was
like
4 years old.
4 years old.
Yeah. And the doctors said, they brought me to Eagle Lake, that I arrange la tête à menu enflé. They had me on ice packs, and I came back.
Now there was no hospital in Fort Kent.
No.
And Eagle Lake was the only one around for a long ways.
The only one. And Mom would be there in the morning before I'd wake up, and she'd leave after I fell asleep at night, and she was telling me that she was sleeping in next door. C'était pas vrai, ça me faisait.
Oh, yeah.
But she used to eat sandwiches, white bread and tomato sandwiches or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
And after that, she got into hives.
Oh.
Bousselé partout. And le docteur d'Atlair, là, dans le temps, c'est lui qui a trouvé le remède. He get off the white bread and says it's going to go away.
What doctor is that? In Clare?
In Clare, yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's a long time ago.
Yeah, it's been a long time.
See, in Fort Kent here, I don't know who the doctors were, but
Albert.
Albert, Savage.
Savage, yeah.
And Kirk in Eagle Lake.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
then
Hans
came in.
Eagle Lake.
That was about it, huh?
Yeah.
Toussaint.
Yeah, Toussaint, I said.
Lionel Toussaint.
Dr. Albert, he's the one that delivered all Mom's babies, except for me.
Right? At home?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a different time.
Yeah, it was, yeah.
So this was a big accident for you.
Yes, yeah, it was.
You survived it.
Survived it, yeah. A lot of people tell me that's why I'm like I am today, because I fell on the head, but that's all right. Yeah.
Well, you did pretty good.
Anyway, we went to school in Fort Kent, St. Louis School. That's where I started in '52. They built Market Street, and I moved there when I was in second grade. Did my school, grammar school here.
You walked there?
No, the bus would take us.
Really?
But when we were in St. Louis, they'd bring us home for dinner.
Oh, by bus?
Or lunch. They'd bring a lunch pail. Market Street, they did bring us home for dinner.
Wow.
Yeah. When they built the one on Pleasant Street, that's when they had school lunches. Except for the last couple of years here, they did have school lunches, but they were transporting it, I believe. C'était pas que j'étais là.
Okay, so either you brought your lunch or they brought you home.
Yeah.
Yeah, see, that's it's hard to imagine.
Oh, yeah.
That you would go to school by bus and then travel back here for lunch, and go back and come back.
C'était quick, so.
Yeah.
And in high school those years, they only had high school half a day.
Oh, is that right?
In the morning they had school, and in the afternoon they had another crew coming in.
Well, I think that's because they were building the
Maybe, yeah.
I think they were building
that was when they had the old
school.
The old high school, yeah.
Because I've got pictures of the high school here, which was started in 1920. It was just a big house.
That's right. Because in '54, that was still morning and afternoon.
Yeah.
Different crews.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, it's and now the grammar school in Market Street, which started just in 1952. It's the courthouse now, huh? That Leroy owns there, Leroy Martin.
Yeah. Yeah. That's right.
That's a Market Street school.
So that's Market Street School. Courthouse and soil conservation.
Yeah, yeah.
The dentist Raymond.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So things have changed.
Yeah.
Sometimes we think Fort Kent, a small town like this, nothing changes. But
there's plenty that's changed.
You look at the pictures, the old pictures there.
Yeah.
And the big fire we had last week.
Mm-hmm.
We've had 7 or 8 of those.
Yeah.
including yours,
Yeah.
which we'll talk about later, I guess. So now you're out of high school and you go to
I went to
technical school.
technical school in South Portland,
Okay, they call that Southern Maine?
Southern Maine Vocational Tech. Yeah.
Okay.
MVTF.
'Cause
Southern MVTF.
I had some friends that went there.
Well, actually, when I went there as MVTI, that's all it was. And then when they built Eastern Vocational Tech in Bangor, they had one in Lewiston also, but the one in in Portland, they call it SMVTI, Southern MVTI.
Southern Maine, yeah.
Yeah.
And now we have one in Prescott.
That's right.
Northern.
Yeah. And the good thing of those trade schools is you come out of there and you're going to have a job guaranteed.
Yeah.
No matter what category you're going in.
Well, I think we're finding that out. You know, you go to college and you learn about your major in history.
Yeah.
Where do you go?
Yeah.
Well, you come out of technical school when you're an electrician.
That's right.
Gone out sea,
Yeah.
you got a job. You know what I mean? So the same thing with this. So you come out of there. Did you go into the service at all?
No, I the first time I got invited to enroll, I was going to college, and the second time
and there was no war, no?
there's no war, and the second time Vietnam was in cahoots.
Yeah.
But my first child was going to be born pretty soon, so that was the excuse, and after that, never been bothered.
At first, you know, they'd let you,
Yeah.
if you had an excuse, going to college,
Yeah.
wife pregnant, you're a farmer. But at the end,
You never had the excuse,
took,
yeah.
because I know, I've talked to quite a few guys, and I was in that time with you.
Yeah.
You come out of high school around the late 60s.
Oh, yeah.
It was direct to the Army.
Yeah.
You can hardly get out of it. And that was awful, and of course, it's we're still doing it.
Yeah. One thing I forgot to mention, I want to go back to that, is when Dad was in Connecticut, he was offered to go to Detroit to become an engineer by the company that he was working for.
Is that right?
They knew that he had the ability to invent. I mean, you know, everything he put his hands on, it came out better than expected. And that happened at the same time that they offered him to go in service. So, no, he says, I'm going to have to pass that up.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, you know, we all have our talents, huh?
Yeah.
I look at how people are musicians. It's easy.
Yeah.
They'll hear one song and they'll play it.
Yeah, it comes in fast.
If you don't have it, you can't do it. I learned, I took up piano and saxophone, and don't ask me about anything. And the same with an artist.
Yeah.
You know, somebody who can draw something. Some people can make a circle, and others can do anything.
Yeah.
And then the same thing with probably athletics and all that. So, your father was mechanically inclined, like we say. And of course, there are people that invent stuff all the time.
Oh, yeah.
They're curious. They want to see how it works. They want to improve it and fix it. That's what his talent, huh?
Yeah, the talent. Not much education, but a good talent.
Yeah, 7th grade. That's just like my dad. 7th grade, when he had nothing to do.
Yeah.
The only time they went to school.
That's right.
And I think I hear from some people that school in the winter did not exist. There were no roads.
No.
So when did you go? See, planting you didn't go, harvesting you didn't go.
After October 15th, that's when potato harvest was done, and they'd pack in and take off, go in the woods.
Yeah.
They'd follow a telephone line with a horse, on horseback. Walk the horse and horseback when they go through, past the rivers.
Amazing. We look at, I saw a harvester on TV there this week. Hundreds of men were needed to do the same work.
Yeah. Yeah.
Somebody had to feed them.
Oh.
Can you imagine? Did you ever see in front of rocks hot dog stand, the Canadians that came over.
Oh, yeah.
You saw that?
On Monday mornings.
Yeah.
I mean, they were, on Friday nights, they were packed to change their checks. And on Monday mornings, ça rentrait là, c'était des cartons de cigarettes. Puis, they'd eat maybe a dozen eggs apiece. I mean, this.
Yeah.
Lily, what the heck was her last name? She was married. Oh, no one remembers.
She was a cook?
She was a cook. Eggs were thrown on there, like des stacks, comme ça, d'eau, sur le compteur, des racks d'œufs, là. Elle passe au travail une coupe de ça tous les lundis matin, mais c'était rien qu'un set de. C'est rien qu'un bar.
Yeah.
Pas de table, rien.
And hot dogs with that.
Hot dogs, yeah.
Early in the morning.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
You know, I've never seen a picture of that now. They told me you couldn't go by with a car there. There were so many people.
Oh, yeah, it's packed.
And then they had horses also that
Yeah.
came across. And then they'd get into a taxi and they'd drive them to Machias or Allagash or wherever they were going.
Jean-Paul Duval was taking care of the visas, not the visas, but the bonding.
Yeah. And he also drove a
drove
taxi.
the taxis at the same time, yeah.
And Pete Freeman had.
Yeah.
Now, do you remember those cars that Pete Freeman had? They were big, and they were called Kaiser and Fraser.
Kaiser and Fraser.
Yeah, and he could put, I think, did he say 8 men in there? I can't imagine 8, but 6 anyway.
Yeah. Had a rack on top to put the luggage or whatever.
What a different life that was, and must have been exciting, but I had never seen a picture of it.
Yeah.
Of that kind of crowd in front of rocks.
Yeah. And
several horses. They'd put them in the truck and take off with them, right?
Yeah, Alphée Dubois, Gil Dubois' father or brother.
It's a long time ago. It's probably his father.
I think so. But anyway, he used to haul horses in a truck with dividers. He'd have at least 10 or 12 on those, and bring that up to Allagash. Or in Allagash at one time they had over 300 horses in the Hobbit, which I saw.
Wow, you saw that?
Yes. So Tom, he was always going to the limit, huh?
Tom Pinkham?
Yeah. The cook room, the cooks were busy. Yeah.
These guys worked hard and made a lot.
Yeah. Gil Gagne, his brother, was a cook. He was working for Tom and one of the cookies for a while. Yeah. And then when he came out of there, he was working cook at the high school.
Oh, I remember that. Yeah. A long time ago. Yeah.
Anyway, coming back to the business. Dad, 7th grade of school. Mom, not much more. She took care of the books. When they first started, they had a grocery store. So she'd take care of the books for the grocery store and the shop, collecting bills and paying bills or whatever. And she'd keep her own accounting, and Diane can vouch for that. She's got books here from the first day she got married, and everything that she spent or bought is written down.
Well, she was a good partner to your father.
Oh yeah, she was actually the encouragement and backbone of the family.
Yeah, and a lot of women did stuff like that,
Yeah.
And they helped their husbands. Now, how big was your parents' family? You're the oldest?
We were 6.
6 kids?
Yeah, 2 boys and 4 girls. And my sister died, the one next to me, Diane, died in '69, the year of the centennial. She had cancer.
How old? She was young?
She was 22.
Yeah. Holy mackerel.
Yeah, she was married to Paul Agassi.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, yes, I remember her.
Yeah.
And then Paul married my cousin.
That's right.
Louise Barrow.
Yeah.
And she's gone.
Yeah.
Paul's still here.
Yeah.
Now,
And he got cancer too.
Paul went to Vietnam.
Yeah. No, he was on the ship.
Yeah.
He wasn't in the Navy.
Yeah, but
Oh, he could have, yeah.
during that war.
Yeah.
Anyway, he's still alive. He lost 2 wives. Yeah. So.
Yeah, that was.
So you come back from technical school until you're ready to help your dad.
Yeah, I came back and I started working that following week in the garage. And at the time, I'd worked with. Well, I learned to work with engine analyzers.
Okay.
And the company that we were working with in school was the Marquettes. So I told Dad about that. I says, Dad says, when you want to check if there's something wrong with an engine, he says it can tell you if it's a spark plug, a wire, or a set of points, or carburation. He says, and I wouldn't need that. I'm going to work for you. Well, it says, get me the price. At the time, it was a $3,000 machine. Marquette 1000. So I was the first one in town to get them. Well, then everybody else started getting them. But that machine, it's true, because when you had points and they were pitted, you could see arcing on the primary circuit. If there was a spark plug that was open circuited or the wire was broken, the spike would go all the way to the roof. And if you had every other wire, every other spike high and the other one's low, it was carburetor. It wasn't adjusted properly. Too much air on one side.
So you had learned that?
Yeah. That was...
Well, see, there's always changes and there's always progress. And your father, did he resist that a bit?
No. Anytime that there was something new that we could prove to him that it would be beneficial, but through.
Something new or something better.
Yeah. A dime.
So now, when did he start selling cars, you say?
63.
63.
Yeah.
When did you come in to work?
63.
Okay. So now you're selling
I graduated in 63. Dodge. Dodge pickups and Dodge trucks.
Did you sell Plymouth?
That came in 74.
Oh.
At first I was fixing cars. Then I became a parts man. When I was a parts man, I was learning all the ropes. When I became a parts man, I started selling cars on the side. And then I was sales manager, and I was ordering the cars and selling cars and trucks and whatever. And in 60...
You were learning the whole business.
Yeah.
Everything about it.
Yeah. And in 63... 63, Dad decided to get incorporated. Because they were getting the car dealership also. So in the corporation, there was Dad, Mom, and myself. And I was just a little VP, but my name was there. Yeah.
So it was known as Gilman Bouchard Dodge?
Incorporated.
Was it Gilman Bouchard Dodge?
No, Gilman Bouchard Inc.
Oh, was that right? Huh?
Yeah. Okay. In Chrysler was being sold by Mr. Bollier in Madawaska.
Yeah.
And their place burnt down, and they got rid of the Chrysler dealership.
I remember that.
I told Dad, I says, you know what, Dad says, we could be selling Chryslers here too, because there's a market for that. It'd be the same parts we were selling now, except for body parts, and body parts we don't sell, unless it's a sold order. It was an accident, you order the parts, and that's it. So it wouldn't be too much expensive for us to get into that. Well, he says, try to get it. So I started writing letters to Chrysler and all that, as in calling up. Says, you don't have enough people in your lookout for a full quad dealership. What do you mean? The same dealership was in Madawaska, which is 20 miles away. You got to give us a population amount. So I called all the town managers and asked what their local populations were. So you could, from Van Buren to Allegat to Ashland, not Caribou, but Ashland and the surrounding communities, we got close to 35,000 people.
At that time?
At that time.
Not anymore.
No. So with that, they let us have it. That was in 74. Meanwhile, in 73, Dodge had acquired the import Colts, which we had automatically, which was a beautiful vehicle.
Colt?
Yeah. Dodge Colt, made by Mitsubishi Company.
Oh, okay.
It was a car that was getting about 30 miles a gallon. It's a 4-cylinder, traction like nobody's business, rear-wheel drive. The only problem was they'd rust.
Oh.
Because they were made in Japan. They didn't oxidize them enough on the ships or whatever. They caused the rust.
You had trouble with that?
Yeah. The head gaskets would blow if you didn't retorque them at 500 miles. At 20,000 miles, you'd have to put a new head gasket. Sometimes they hit. So Dad says, we're going to fix that. At 500 miles, we'd retorque the heads. No head gaskets blowing after that. They were aluminum heads, and they tighten them up so much, but anything aluminum, if you don't retighten, after a while, they expand, and then there's seepage, and they blow the gasket.
So your father figured that out?
Yeah.
And did you do that for free to the customers?
Yeah.
So you told them to come in,
Yeah.
and you would do that?
500 miles, and we retorque the heads. Yeah. Then we got the 74. Then we got the Chrysler in the 94. The first one I sold was Lewis, 74, and it was a gold and silver car, I believe it was. Chrysler. Guess what the hell's the model of that? New Yorker.
New Yorker, yeah.
See, Louis Spencer Jr. cashes up. He still has it in his garage.
Oh, is that right? 1974.
Yeah.
Now, Chrysler, they're top of the line, though, which competed with Cadillac and
300.
It was the Imperial, huh?
Oh, the Imperial, yeah.
And I remember Mr. Tom Peltzy had one of those.
Yeah.
And those were nice big cars.
Real heavy car.
Yeah.
That's when cars were weighing 4,000 pounds. You know.
How much mileage did we get in those days?
15.
That's what
18.
we're getting now. That's what I get when I'm 15. But there's some now they're much lighter today, and they get 40 miles an hour.
Yeah.
But you know, in the 70s, when you started with Chrysler and all that, there was a time where cars were not that good a few years ago. I remember some of the cars I bought. In 1980, I had a Continental. That was no good at all. You couldn't get up a hill with that. Mileage was bad.
Yeah.
I don't know if it was just that kind of car, but
No, everybody had their problems at one time or another. I mean,
I think that's when we lost a lot of market to the Japanese.
The Japanese took over for a while.
Yeah.
So in 1997, Dad decides to. Before that, what was that? After I graduated from Southern Maine Vocational Technical, I was ready to be hands-on and work, but I was not ready to have an enterprise like owning my own business. I was scared of that.
Yeah.
So in 1964, 65, Paul Bouchard was in the JCs. Came home one time, so Lester says, you got to join that. You got to come with me. Oh, I said, no. Join but two. Lester, he says, I'm going to pick you up next week. He says, just come to the meeting. Well, shouldn't have done that, because after I went to the meeting, I joined.
JCs was big in those days.
Oh, yeah.
Now, it doesn't exist anymore?
No. Well, it does internationally. There are some clubs in Maine. I don't think they have too many clubs left.
So, to the people of today, they wouldn't know what that is. It's a junior chamber of commerce.
Junior chamber of commerce, 18 to 35 years of age.
At 35, you were a retired rooster,
yeah.
huh? Exhausted rooster.
Yeah.
And that's it. You couldn't belong.
But
anymore.
after I got exhausted, a few years later, they went up to 4 years.
Oh, okay.
But anyway.
And there was a great training for public speaking.
Oh, yeah. Speak up and
you had all kinds
running meetings and knowing how to.
You actually had a program or programs to teach you business.
Yeah.
How to conduct yourself. Like today we belong to the Lions Club. We can go there and eat and go home.
Yeah.
Or don't even go to the meeting.
Yeah.
Don't have no responsibility at all.
No.
Except friendship.
Yeah.
But this one here, so how long were your meetings? What did you do at a meeting?
We had our first meetings were held at Claude's. like the Lions were. And when I became a member, Bob Marquis was happy because he was the chairman for years for the auto show they used to have at the Armory.
Oh, yeah, that was big. I remember that.
Oh, Lester, I got a program for you. Anyway, they got me to co-chair it with him 1 year. So anyway, he didn't do anything. He just told me what to do and said, it's your baby. And at the same time, they wanted to buy a little bus for the mentally handicapped to carry the mentally handicapped from Fort Kent to Madawaska and picking them up in Social Pond also on the outskirts. So, being the dealer in the JCs, I was able to give them a price. And they tried other dealers too, but we had the best price, so we got the Dodge A100 van, they call it, for that. And that was the only one they ever had.
How many passengers?
Oh, something like 8. But the first year that I was chairman for the auto show, we surpassed the income by, was it $1,500 from the previous year. And it was all on ads more than anything else.
Yeah. So all the dealers in the area would have cars.
Cars in there, yeah.
Pickups and
Pickups, yeah.
I remember they had a boat show too. Was that the same?
Yeah, that was a sportsman show.
Sportsman show? Was that the JC's too?
Yeah.
I remember seeing boats there.
Yeah.
They had one there, I think must have been the Daigle and Houghton. It was a tri-hull, is that what they call it?
Yeah.
And three
pontoons.
3 pontoons there. That was quite a boat and very popular in those days.
Yeah.
So that auto show, it was one of your fundraisers?
That was one of our fundraisers. We did that, plus we had a calendar we were doing.
Calendar, yeah.
That was Reno Lagasse's calendar, I believe it was.
If I remember correctly, we would buy a birthday.
Birthday, right.
For a quarter.
That's right.
Your anniversary, your kid's birthday. So you might get $4 or $5 out of a person, and you'd have about 10, 12 dates.
And we used to sell tickets. Oh, my gosh.
Oh, yeah?
Oh.
Tickets for what?
For raffles.
Oh, okay.
So some film anyway.
Well, yeah, a lot of things we did in clubs, like car wash and bake sales and raffles was a lot of work, and like you say, at P.O.N.E. Now in the Lions Club we have the Lions Show. That's fun.
Yeah.
The tickets sell themselves.
Yeah. The
phone book also. Well, you know what? We're going to take a break there because we've been at it for 3/4 of an hour, and my battery's getting low. That's the biggest problem I have with this camera.
Okay.
And we need a little break anyway. Well, Lester, we took a little break, and we're still in your parents' home, which is up for sale, huh?
Yeah, up for sale.
Very nice place. This is a nice fireplace behind you.
Yes, it is. That was built by Mr. Dion and Claire.
Oh, yeah.
With his son-in-law, Bob Bouchard.
Bob Bouchard. You know what? Bob Bouchard did the same thing with my camp.
Yeah.
He built my... I've got a wood stove. It's not a fireplace. But behind it is a nice wall like that. Field stones, huh?
Yeah.
Now, does anybody still do that around here?
I really don't know.
Bob Boucher is not here. He's not around here, is he, anymore?
He's in Clarence still.
He is?
Yeah.
Well, he must be still doing that.
Maybe he's still doing it.
Yeah. It's very well done, and they're beautiful stones, huh?
Yeah, done a beautiful job.
Yeah. So, where were we?
Anyway, we were back when I bought the place, but the dealership. But we'll come back a little bit here. In '57, Dad was selling trucks from '55 up in H.O. Bouchard, my cousin or Dad's nephew, wanted to buy himself a truck to go work in Bangor. and he didn't have the capital to do that.
Edmund's boy.
Edmund's boy.
What's his name? Herman?
Harold.
Harold.
And at the time, he wanted a truck, and he didn't have the collateral to finance. And
was he just coming out of high school or something?
Yeah, and right after high school, he got married, and he was plowing with his father's truck when he was in high school, the strip road.
Oh, okay.
And he was the type of guy that anything he put his hands on, whether it was an old vehicle or a new vehicle, it looked like the day he took it. I mean, he kept it clean, spotless, mechanically safe.
He was like your dad.
Like Dad was, yes.
Yeah.
So he came to see Dad, and Dad says, well, because of your father, he says, I own this place.
Oh, okay.
And it's time to repay, so I'll help you out. You can have a truck, and you will have it 6 months interest payment free. And after that, you will pay your payments. So that's how Dad got Harold started.
It's a hell of a good deal.
Yeah.
So he bought a Dodge.
Yeah.
And he went south or right?
He went to Bangor. He was working for sergeants.
Okay.
And mostly on the interstate, hauling gravel and hot top or whatever. And he bought a 57. In 1960, he wanted another one, so he bought a Wheeler then, the big one. And we went down there. We bought the truck, well, we picked the truck in Boston, I think it was, or somewhere south, Dad and I, and we came to Bangor and delivered it to Harold and took his and brought it back.
Or he traded.
Yeah. Yeah. But that was the start of Harold's
it's amazing.
big, let's go this empire. He did a wonderful job. Yeah.
He's real big now.
Yeah.
He's must be retired now. Huh?
Yeah, he's retired, but he still keeps his hand.
Yeah. Is it like the Peltiers where his family's involved?
Yeah, his son's involved. Brian, the only son he has,
Oh, I see.
is managing it right now.
Yeah, that's quite a story.
Oh yeah, that is a story that if you'd have a chance to put together.
Well, I've been asking, like Paul, his brother,
Yeah.
when Harold's up here, I'd like to do this with him. But I don't think he's too well, is he? Is he sick or something?
He's had his bouts, cancer bouts, but comes out of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, yourself, if you see him and he's here for a few days, doesn't take a long time to get a story. That'd be a great story.
Yeah.
So your dad is involved in that big business too. With that, he started him out.
Mm-hmm.
Never had any trouble collecting his payments.
No, no. Never had trouble with Harold.
There was a lot of people from up here who did that. They bought a truck and worked for these large companies. I remember Pat Bard.
Yeah.
He'd go all summer long and work for construction and probably a lot of other people, huh?
Well, Gerald Betsy did the same thing. Bought a truck from Dad in '56.
Gerald, the big Peltier
The
crew
big family,
from
yeah, that's how he started.
Was he hauling gravel or was he in the woods with that?
He was hauling both. In the woods, in the winter, he was hauling wood, and in the summer, he's hauling gravel.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Now, he lived here for a while.
Yeah, he lived in Eagle Lake, right? The house where our camp is.
Oh, yeah?
Across the road. That's where his home was until he moved to Dagle. That big house that burned down that they rebuilt.
That's right.
Yeah.
And now they're the other day somebody got lost. A guy from Germany got lost in the woods around Mount Katahdin.
Yeah.
And one of the Peltier boys found him.
Really?
Yeah, it just happened to. He wasn't looking for him.
Yeah.
And took real good care of him, and the guy was really impressed,
Yeah.
How come? And other people were looking for him at the time.
Yeah.
So he was on the Golden Road or whatever they call it.
Yeah. Yeah, I know where's in the woods up there. If you're going to walk long enough, you're going to hit the Golden Road.
Yeah. Yeah, well, that's a good story for Harold, huh? And your father was involved in that.
Yeah.
Now, you worked with him for many years now.
I worked with Dad till 1976, and 77 is when I bought. And
It's been that long.
Yeah, and Dad worked with me for till 1980.
How old was he? Do you remember?
When he retired, he was
Probably not that old.
80, 15, 65.
65.
And Mom worked till 84. That's when my wife came in. She replaced Mom. And she didn't have a college degree in bookkeeping either. But in those days, when I took over, we we had to get a CPA to do the books, or someone knowledge of like a CPA was. So we hired Jim Plord, and Jim would come to the shop at the end of the month and do the financial statement with Diane. And those financial statements, it wasn't a little scrap of paper like this, you know, the 4 legal sheets, full to the rim.
Yeah. Well, you had to be legal.
Yeah.
You had to know all about taxes, and you had to pay a lot of sales tax, huh?
Oh, sales tax, Social Security, everything else.
Oh, yeah, for the employees.
The employees, yeah.
Oh, yeah, it's a...
So it took, what is it? You stayed home for, you worked with us 4 months, 6 months? Oh, yeah.
You what?
She broke her leg in the December of 80.
So that kind of
84.
stopped things
That's
for
right.
a few months there.
Oh.
That's right.
You broke that skiing?
No, hell no. We're going to bowl. And we had the carport made next to the house, and she was coming around the car, and she hit a patch of ice, and her leg went underneath the foot. The foot went underneath the tire, snapped the ankle.
Oh, okay. You were going bowling.
Yeah.
Now that's another thing that we all did. For a lot of was bowling, and now it's dead.
Dead.
It's another big change in our lives. You know what I mean? I remember in the '60s when Roland Long built his bowling alley in Clare. He was a barber here in Fort Kent.
Yeah, beautiful bowling alley.
But he was living in Clare, and he was barbering in Fort Kent. And how popular that was. I mean, every night was
It's packed.
it was a league, women's league, mixed league, men's league.
Yeah.
I think Sunday was the only day without league.
Yeah.
And we'd still go on Sunday bowling. And I remember one of the things that happened in 1968. We were bowling on Thursday night. It was just like today, my birthday. And just before I left, we had TV. We had Presque Isle, MPBN, and St. John, New Brunswick. We had three channels, and you had to go get up to go change it.
Yeah.
Just before I left for bowling, they announced Martin Luther King had killed.
Oh.
You know, it was 6 o'clock. So I get to the bowling alley and I tell people that Martin Luther King, he was killed, you know. And that was on my birthday. Then 2 months later, we were golfing in Edmundston, Father Marc and Judge Neto and Elmer Peltier and me. They had a clubhouse there, and we'd go there early in the morning, and I think we had breakfast, and then we'd golf. Mm-hmm. And while we're there, Robert Kennedy got killed.
Yeah.
Hey, 1968, sir.
Yeah.
That was a scary time.
Yeah.
This was the country was blowing up. The Democrats had a convention in Chicago, riots all over the place. I don't remember it as troubling me that much.
Yeah.
Maybe we were young and we didn't.
Yeah,
We didn't
when
get
Kennedy got killed, I mean, there was a lot of remorse in the country. I mean,
Oh yeah.
everybody was hurting. You know, it's just
Yeah.
couldn't
Well,
believe.
it started with
Who could-
John.
Yeah,
John Kennedy in '63. Now this is
That's
only
right.
5 years later, and
That's
his
right.
brother gets shot. You wonder what,
Yeah.
whatever happened there to all these things. Doesn't make sense.
c'est pas beau.
But bowling was a big thing.
Yeah.
And,
Bowling, I've got the highest 3 recorded in Fort Kent.
Is that right?
480.
480.
480, yeah. And Francis Freeman was on my team. Francis said that was the best motivator there was, you know. I'd bowl 157. He said, Lester, you could have bowled 160. He says, take your time. Hey, in all 3 strings, I had 8 marks per string.
Oh, first string.
Per string.
Oh, big.
Yeah. The last one was a triple strike. That's put the icing on the cake.
Wow.
Yeah.
I probably was there, but I don't remember it. You do.
Oh,
We had some great bowling teams. Yeah, Francis Freeman was there.
Francis was,
Good. What team was that?
Dodge Boys at the time.
Oh, is that right?
Before that, it was Michaud's.
In charge?
Yeah, Nelson had Michaud's insurance.
Oh, okay.
I wasn't bowling with them at the time. Then I joined them. And then he left to go work in New Massachusetts.
Oh,
And
yeah.
I changed that to the Dodge Boys.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. We had a league that every night we went, we had 2 crews.
Yeah,
One
early.
early and one late.
One late, one early, yeah.
And,
Every other week you change.
Yeah. And full house all the time. It was a nice pastime.
Yeah.
It's too bad. Now, do they still have any bowling at all? There's
The bowling alley is open.
a round pond.
Round point, yeah.
Point.
The high school kids go there on with the bus during
Oh yeah. It's called physical education.
physical education. If
Well,
it's
they
it,
do
yeah.
that at the golf course too.
Yeah, the golf course too, yeah.
But there's no leagues, I don't think.
I don't, I'm not sure. Not sure.
How many alleys does he have? Do you know?
It's 6. I think it was.
6 alleys. Anyway,
I believe so.
I don't know anybody who bowls. In the cities where they're bowling with a big ball, so that's different. That's still popular.
Yeah.
But this required a lot of skill. The first interview I ever did was at the bowling alley with Bud Gage. Remember Bud
Yes.
Gage?
2 balls, 1 in each hand.
Yeah.
Casa travers, puis ainsi on
Hey, he was a character. And I interviewed him about the war, World War II.
Yeah.
And he swore so much that I could never play it.
Yeah, but
And then I was with June Cody.
Yeah.
In those days, June would film and I would talk,
Yeah.
And we pictured Bud Gage bowling a string. Hey, it was amazing. It was like something like you did.
Yeah.
The ball would go very slow and curve.
Curve to the center, straight, spare.
The pins would go.
Wobbling.
They'd fall slow. It's a great thing to have. I put it on one of the historical tapes. It's really fun to see him, And what a character. He worked for the post office.
Yeah.
And he was popular with veterans. I think he
Oh,
was commander of the VFW.
He was living in the VFW.
Yeah.
Holy boys.
Yeah. It's quite a character. Anyway, I missed that. I wish we would still have that kind of bowling. It was fun and good competition.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And then we'd go bowl outside.
That's right.
With other against. I remember the Knights Columbus. We'd go to Caribou.
Caribou, Van Buren.
Yeah, and then Bangor. We had state tournaments in Bangor. And there was always some real good bowlers. The Labbies, their legs.
Yeah.
And did you ever bowl for just the Dodge Boys? You never bowl for the Lions or anything like that? I bowl for the Lions.
I did for the Lions when we go out of town, but
Okay.
not as a Lions team in Fort Kent.
Yeah. Roger Willett was a
Yeah.
good bowler. Oh,
Yeah.
geez. Well, he's a good golfer,
Yeah.
you know. Yeah, that was a lot of fun. Did you ever have a softball team
No.
for the Dodge? No. Because Leonardo had one.
Yeah.
And Village Squire and all these big. Softball was real big in Fort Kent.
Yeah.
When it was where the
St. Louis
Credit
Credit.
Union.
Yeah. Yeah.
We'd have fans stop in and watch. And when they moved it where it is now, it
It didn't
went down.
entice the people to. Well, people don't see it.
They
you
don't
know,
see it.
The other way, they'd see it going by and they'd stop.
Yeah. So sometimes you think you're improving things and you're not.
Well, yeah.
Yeah. So you were a busy man.
Yes,
When did you join the Lions?
Oh, gosh.
You've been. I've been in there a long time. 50 years?
It's 86.
86?
I joined in 86, yeah. In JC's, I was president twice in Fort Kent. Then I went state director, and then I went national director, which was a nice position.
Wow.
National director, you could go any national meeting, most national meetings, and be paid for. I mean, you go there, all expenses paid.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
I went to the first year it was Portland, Oregon, and then on-to chairman. I was on-to chairman after that, so I could get a free trip. And on-to chairman, I'd take care of the state of Maine to go to the state national convention. It was in Minneapolis.
So JC's really did
put
a
the
lot
boost
for you.
on me. After the experience I had with JC's and challenging the state chairs to hear my voice, I didn't do it. Gave me the incentive that I could run a business and make things go.
Very good training.
Yeah.
When I was in college, we had Toastmasters.
Really?
And get up and make speeches, you know, because some of us are bashful and don't have any confidence. So you join a Toastmaster club, and the guys would critique you.
Yeah.
Very good training, and that was a big part of JC's.
Yeah.
How to be a leader in your community, right?
Yeah. For the first year I joined, it was Ed Plessy was here. Carol Bouchard.
Yeah.
You know, motivators like you would
Well,
believe.
that was real early in your career.
Yeah.
You joined right away, like your cousin Paul.
Joined in 64.
64, yeah.
When I got to be 35, I got the exhausted rooster, and that's when I quit.
Yeah.
Then Reno wanted me to join the Lions. I said, no, give me a chance to breathe. But anyway.
Well, Reno was big in JC's.
Oh, yeah.
And so was Carol Bouchard. Carol went all the way.
Ambassador for the U.S.
Yeah. Amazing.
Yeah.
And Barney Netto
Yeah.
big in there, too.
And you know, when I was in JC's, the first guy that complimented me, that gave me the gumption of going further, that was Peter Netto.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah, I got up and gave a report on the auto show. Peter had been in JC's longer than me, but c'était pas un parler trop they say.
Yeah.
Real quiet. And after the meeting, he came up to me and gave me show my hands. That was a real good report for a beginner.
Is that
Keep
right?
it up, yeah. And, just beating it up,
Yeah.
Mais ça prend pas grand-chose. As long as you get someone that believes in you and shows you support.
Yeah.
You know.
Now, the auto shows, it existed before you.
Yes.
And how long did it go on?
Oh, it petered off. You're 64, I think. Actually, it stopped doing it in the early 70s because the reason being, cars used to come in, the new cars used to come in the fall.
Oh, yeah.
And they never have a new car come out in the middle of the year. And now you can have a new car coming out
Yeah.
every other month.
Yeah.
And also the cars were coming in wrapped up. Nobody could see the cars when they were coming out the trucks.
Yeah, it was a big day.
It was a big day then.
When the
you know,
cars were, all the cars.
all the cars.
Yeah, I remember that.
That's just,
Yeah, when they said, okay, September 20 is the new cars coming out. It was a big, big day. Big celebration.
Yeah.
You like you say, they were all wrapped up. You didn't know what they're going to look like. And, I don't know why they stopped that.
I don't know.
It got us really interested.
Yeah.
Bouchard, so that was a JC thing too?
Yeah, but I didn't get involved in that.
No.
Sportsman show. Maybe that came in after, I don't know.
Now when you joined the Lions, we were already into our Lions show.
Oh, yeah.
It had been a few years.
Yeah.
And was that one of the reasons you joined, or no?
No, може трофеем само масло за бодресно.
But I know that a lot of young people, young men, were watching the Lions show and saying, these guys are having a lot of fun.
Yeah, there's a lot of young guys now that I know are joining because of it.
Yeah, and right now, see,
Hey.
last night we had our meeting. They had 4 new guys proposed for next week.
Yeah.
And they took in 2 last week. And I think in the last year we had 8 new members. Now we'd go years without a new member.
Yeah.
Now we have 8 new members, and we're going to have more than that this year. So it's one of the few clubs that's growing.
Yeah.
Most of them don't grow. I think Madawaska has no more clubs.
Yeah.
Except the Legion, I think, and then the Casey's. Casey's, well, you know what happens, huh? They all have these big buildings, and you got to keep it going. And
it's
of
hurting.
course, you have a large population.
Large clientele also. Yeah, I got involved with the Brothers of the Brush also in '69.
Oh yeah, that was a lot of fun.
We call that Rip Van Whiskers.
You had a club?
Yeah. And
that was a nice celebration.
That was a beautiful celebration.
You know what? One of the things I remember about that year, it was a company from Ohio that came up to sell us all kinds of things. You know, like coins and ribbons and neckties and hats and the guy got here, and we met at the VFW, and he got here on the 10th of April, which is like next week, and we had 10 inches of snow. Oh boy! And then we had and Claude Dumont, he was town manager then.
Yeah.
He had a parade at the end of the summer there that was 69 units.
Yeah.
Biggest parade ever in Fort Kent. 69 units.
Yeah.
And he's still proud of that.
Yeah, we were, our parade was, our float was Wilmer Associates horsepower.
Oh, is that right?
The grinder that run by a horse.
Oh, yeah. We do have film of that a little bit, not much. You know. I wish we could have filmed that, because it was quite a parade. Now you're working with your dad. That's when you have another brother, and you're the only one interested in the business.
Yeah, well, the other one was 18 years younger than I was. He was a bookkeeper.
Oh, okay.
And I couldn't wait.
Yeah.
Whatever. He had other ideas. He wanted to work in New Hampshire with his sister. Della was out there.
Okay.
And they got married. They moved to New Hampshire also.
Yeah.
Other than that, I had 3 other sisters. One passed away, of course. Linda's a doctor in Presque Isle, educational doctor. University of Maine, yeah.
Ah.
Married to Bill Graves. And Gilda, well, she's with Sherby down here.
Oh, okay.
We're the only 2 that stayed in the community.
So the business was you and your dad?
Yeah. And Mom.
Yeah.
And there were times when, like any business, sometimes things aren't working exactly the way you want them to be. You get discouraged. And Dad one time walked in the store and he threw his hat down. He says, I'm calling Chrysler and I want to take every damn thing out of here. He says, I'm quitting. Man looked at him. Voyons, why? Così che io. Why, that, in front of me, I never heard any harsh words. I mean, that's one thing that I could say.
Yeah.
But she looked at him and said, Gil, says, we're going to go to bed tonight now, and tomorrow's another day. Don't do anything too rash. Next morning he gets up, and it's just like nothing ever happened. I mean,
So what do you know what the story was?
It was a customer that was putting blame on not doing the work done right or whatever.
Oh.
Dad knew that he had done what he was supposed to do, but Lotus was too adamant. He pushed the wrong button at the wrong time. Dad.
It's hard to satisfy everybody, huh?
Yeah, that's pretty hard. Yeah.
And frustrating at times. And of course, it must be harder today to deal with these car companies too, huh?
Oh yeah, you're not the boss anymore, huh?
Yeah. It used to be your garage.
Yeah.
And your dealership. And now you have to go the way they want you to go.
Somewhat.
Which means a lot of money.
Yeah.
So your father retires in 84, you said? No?
80.
80?
1980.
And then what does he do?
Fish.
Huh?
He fishes.
Okay, but
Dad loved fishing.
He still helps you, though.
No, if I needed help, yeah, I could call him. He'd come in, but from 77 to 80, he was there at the shop.
Okay. And you bought it in 77?
Yeah.
Okay.
And Mom stayed till 84, and he'd do a lot of fishing. He loved ice fishing and fishing, trolling on the boat. That was his cup of tea, so he did enough of that. But while he was working, he never put a line in the water except for maybe 5 times that I know of.
Really?
Yeah.
It was all work.
All work. When we had the camp, we there on weekends with the family. He was always with us. I mean, he wouldn't be out fishing on the lake.
Yeah.
The biggest thing that Dad and I did a lot of was hunt.
Oh, okay.
And hunting
together.
was
Together.
hunting that we have Veterans Day, excuse me, and Thanksgiving. That was the 2 days that we done. Unless I'd find a hot spot one day after school, and I'd say, Dad, at 4 o'clock, I want you with me, and we'll go get the deer.
Yeah.
Which happened a couple of times, but that's when deer were a little more plentiful.
Well, geez, when I came to Fort Kent, the first day of hunting, I'd see cars go by with a couple of deer on the fenders.
On the fenders, yeah.
And all the time, pickups full of. Now, I don't think I saw one this fall.
That's it, all stuff it.
Yeah. So, he didn't take any time off then?
No, when he was working,
Yeah. Well, see, that's what they liked about us in Connecticut. When they saw Frenchmen come down there from the valley, they hired them right away.
Yeah.
They knew that they were not afraid of work. Now, you lost your dad, what year was that?
1992, the 2nd of January.
That long ago? 20 years?
In 1991, he had his 50th wedding anniversary.
Okay.
That year, Diane had her moose permit. And Dad, I was her partner for the moose, but I brought Dad with us because he'd been wanting a moose permit for years. So he came with us, and we went one day, all day. Diane said, "Hey, we better find a moose because I'm not coming here every day of the week." The next day, she had to bring Jennifer to the dentist, I believe it was. So Tuesday we don't go hunting. Dad's So we went there Wednesday, and we were at the.
But she had to be with you.
Yeah.
She couldn't.
She could have passed her permit to someone else, but I never told her that.
Okay. She could have given it to you
Yeah.
or to your father.
Yeah. Anyway, we go to the at Pinnakin, but on Route 161 here, Blackstone.
Oh, okay.
So Gérard Pilt was out there, but we hadn't met him somewhere. He said, anytime you drop something down, go on the road and tell a trucker, and we're going to have a truck here with a skidder to get it out for you. So we're out there, and I'm looking, and Diane says, hey, let's find something. You find it, and we'll shoot it. She looks over like that, and there's one behind a stump in a clear cut. Fake, when you get off on the road, the roads then were made with a bulldozer and it pushed up like that, but you couldn't see over that. So I got in the back of the truck, had my rifle on top of the hood, on top of the roof. Bang, bang. Illegal as hell.
Oh, is that right?
Can't shoot when you're next to a truck.
Oh.
Touching a truck.
Is that right?
So anyway, we dropped that. So Diane, she says, holy boys, what are we going to do? Well, we're going to go gut it out. So Dad is out of the truck. He's got this knife ready. Diane goes behind the seat. She gets her roll of paper towel with her. So we go there and we start cutting him up. Head's dead up. Hey, hold it. She had to face the paper towel out. Here, let me wipe your blade. By the time we're all done, them paper towels. Oh, shit.
Puis Gérard knew...
Yes, Ansley.
Oh.
Pas Ansley. Son frère, là.
Ah oui, c'est
Marvin.
Marvin qui est malade.
Marvin, yeah. C'est lui qui est venu avec le truck. Hey, after it was down, about 3/4 of an hour was in the back of the truck, cleaned. And then we came out in Ashland, in Portage.
Okay.
Or before Portage, thinking. Yeah, so we had a 500-pound moose.
So that was the fall before he died.
That's right.
So you were still enjoying him all the time.
Oh, yes. I mean, that fall, I got a deer. That was before deer hunting season. On the 11th, Dad and I went up the Allagash on Michaud Farm Road. We get to the gate to get our permit to go through. Lawrence Otterbear's in front of us. Hey, Lawrence, why don't you talk a while? Just let us go through. No. Just give me Baba. Okay. So we take off behind him. We don't go more than 1.5 miles. And I'm looking to the left, and this nice buck coming out in between trees. But it's maybe from here to the top of the hill. So I don't stop him. I go a little further up, and I shut the truck off. And there's an opening on the other side. She says, Dad, go on the other side. I'm going to go this way. And if I shoot and miss him, he's going to go towards you, so you drop it.
Where's Lawrence?
Lawrence, il a passé.
Il était parti.
Il n'a pas vu.
Il n'a pas vu ça.
So I shot, and I missed. Puis, il a décollé, puis il a arrêté back. Il regarde encore, ben, je dis là. I dropped it. So we're cleaning it. Just before I'm all done, Joel Marquis comes by. He sees my truck. Got it. Il mouille avec le chevreux. Pas à courir. Il m'a mis une compte, puis pas à courir en s'en allant sur sa truck. Yeah. So that was my deer. Dad never put young foal.
Oh, yeah.
Dad doesn't get a deer. So that's when black powder was starting.
What?
Black powder hunting.
Okay.
So the week after regular hunt is done, we go to Big Black, Dad and I. I go there with my black powder gun. I'm hunting bear. I'm not supposed to be shooting deer. So I take one side of the road, and Dad takes the other side of the road after we park. And he goes into a clear cut, and I go to the other clear cut. Puis winding up all deepies. And Dad's not coming out. So he says, hold it, boys. So I take off and walk closely behind in his tracks. But through the wood, So I walked slowly. There was a deer coming out of the clear cuts, walking towards him, but it was too far away, and it would walk 10 feet or so, and it would stop and sniff the ground, walk again, puis tout d'un coup, il allait, puis il ne mouve plus. Puis il était trop loin. Puis moi, j'avais un bleed call qu'appelle, que paraît comme un petit veau qui braille.
Oh, okay.
So I used that, and he perked up, and he started walking towards us again. He'd go a little further, but he'd stop again, so I kept doing that for 3-4 times. And I didn't want to shoot, so I said, that's Dad's deer, so the next time he stops, Dad, shoot. Okay. I bleed. Puis il s'en vient, puis il arrête. Il tire. Click. Misfire. Holy shit. Dad, t'es prêt pour tirer son fusil à bas? J'ai dit, c'est OK. Il sait pas comment il tire encore. Ôte ton cap, mets ta peau dans l'arrière, mets avec le cap, puis là, il va partir. Puis ce coup-ci, je vais te mettre ses prêts, je vais partir. Je vais tirer, moi et tout. On va pas certainement manquer. Je fais une d'école, il s'en vient dire, quand il arrête, on s'en l'a puis pow! Ça a fait pouf pouf, pareil comme une shot. Ça fait, mais c'était les deux fusils de travers. That damn thing dropped. And then I loaded myself up because you never know.
Yeah.
So Dad's walking, puis en bas neige à ceinture. Hey.
Oh, is that right?
Oh.
What time of the year is that?
It was the week after Thanksgiving.
We had a lot more snow than we had this year.
Yeah. So we got to the deer, and he had one antler, the other one was broken off. Puis Dad était pour le poignet de même, puis il s'est levé de même la tête. He grabbed his antler on Dad's hand and ripped it open.
Oh, is that right?
No, scratch. Fait qu'avant qu'il me voie plus, moi, j'ai donné une autre shot. So, he had his deer, he had his moose,
Yeah.
and I had mine also. Who shot the deer, we don't know.
Well,
Anyway.
so that must have hit hard.
Oh, yeah. Dad, Marc, I lost Mom,
Well, she was
last
90,
year,
93, yeah.
but Dad really, really hurt me more.
Well, he
But
was...
we worked together from, I was lucky with that. I was with my parents that long,
That's
something that
That's what you have to
be thankful for.
be thankful for. Now, he was not that old at the
No, he was
time.
76 when he died.
76. And,
He had had open heart surgery. Not open heart, bypasses like you do.
okay.
They had done that in Portland. And he says, that was nothing. So I'll have that at any time. But he was really healthy.
In good shape.
Yeah.
Now, one of his friends was Pat Peltz.
That healthy.
They do a lot of fishing together,
Yeah, fishing, praying, and
hunting.
hunting.
No. What? Now, Pat, I had, luckily for me, I had interviewed him a couple of years before with his maple sugar thing on the hill there. And he was retired too from the hospital. He was working at the hospital.
Yeah.
So now this is December 2, January 2, 1992.
Yeah.
And it's a Sunday?
It's the day after New Year's.
Yeah, but you don't remember what day it was?
No, I don't
What
remember.
kind of day?
No, it wasn't. It wasn't a Thursday.
Thursday?
Because that night, Mom called me. She says, Les, Dad's not home yet, and I'm worried. Where do you go? Yeah, it's at the Glacier Lake. Oh, okay. Elle dit, Sherby, il est pas chez eux, là, mais il est au meeting des Rotarians. Ben, tu pourrais le caller, puis vous pourrez aller voir ensemble. Je dis, OK. He called a meeting. Sherby came on, and I told him, he says, I'm going to load up my 2 machines on the trailer, and I'll pick you up, and we're going to go to Glacier Lake, look for Dad, see if he's stuck somewhere or whatever.
They had gone there with 2 snowmobiles?
2 snowmobiles. No, 1 snowmobile.
1 snowmobile, and they were hauling
Their cabin.
Fish cabin.
Fish cabin.
So every year they'd put their fish cabin on Glacier Lake?
At the beginning, because that was the only place that was open during the day. They couldn't fish on the lakes up here until later in the season.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah. They had a week that they would have lost. But anyway. Yeah. So they came to, they were heading for the entrance of the river on that Bouchard Lake. It was dusty that day, I guess. They didn't get to see the water opening. And when they hit that, if they would have been just a sled alone, they might have been all right. But when they came to the back, là, quand ça faisait l'eau, ça a bourré. So, Dad was still on the sled when we found him.
So did you meet Shirley and you went together?
Yeah.
And so you get there and
We went
dark,
there. It's dark, yeah. We bought some flashlights. I took one sled, Shirley took the other.
So nobody knew that at that point?
No.
Nobody knew they...
They knew that they had gone fishing, but...
No, but nobody there from the Glacier Lake area had seen them or...
They saw them get on the lake, that's it. They never saw them, if they came back or not. They did check them.
No, they'd go there early in the morning?
Yeah.
So they'd been there for quite a while.
The next day. No, the next day. Yeah, we got to the lake, we got the skidoos out, and we took off, and all at once I saw the top of the cabin on the ice. I stopped the machine and I started walking towards it. Shirley came with me. Puis tout d'un coup, là, quand on est arrivé comme 20 pieds de la cabane, là, ça craquait fort. J'ai vidé de l'eau, j'ai dit, Shirley, let's go. We can't do anything here now. And if we go any further, we might be in too. So we left there and we went. Shirley was hurrying up. Puis moi, j'avais mon machine à pin et tout. Puis my engine let go.
Really?
So, Shirley, elle a regardé chez Vianney, puis elle n'a pas vu, c'est qu'elle est venue me crier. Fait qu'on restait à train là, puis on took ça le lendemain. Puis en descendant en bac, on a arrêté à la première maison qui était ouverte avec un téléphone. Puis on rentrait là, puis moi j'étais trempé. Moi c'est ça, je mes vies trempées. Bon. J'ai demandé à la femme là, j'ai dit, je pourrais t'acheter une paire de bas de laine? Ah, elle dit, tiens, mon garçon, je n'ai une paire. Fait qu'on collait we called Mounted Police, which we shouldn't have. I should have called Fort Kent instead, but I called Canada. And because of that, when they found them the next day, they wouldn't let. I called the game warden, so I called Gary Dumont, and he made sure that the game wardens would be up there with the airboat the next day. When they got to customs, they wouldn't let go by because it was a Canadian search. So that was a controversy, but at 9 o'clock that morning, we were up there early, and so the Biz came down, and Dave Deputy, and myself and Shirley, of course. And we went to get the sled. The boys had come in with coffee, so Biz and Dave. And they had brought a whole spool of rope in case they needed the help, but the game wardens on their side had all of what they needed. And by 10 o'clock, the bodies were recovered. And Dad was still on the sled, and Monsieur Pelletier was about 100 feet at the bottom.
Wow, what a story.
Yeah, that was pretty aggravating.
A few pictures here. We have Mr. Gil Bouchard on the left with his wife, Blanche, and Don Lozier and Leonard Pelletier, is it?
Yeah.
And who was the other guy? Anyway, this is Lou Willett. And they're in the 1970s. They were directors of the Credit Union.
Of the Credit Union, yeah.
Okay. 1948, the garage had one door, and there it is.
Two apartments
upstairs, and they're selling Amoco gas. Huh?
Yeah.
Here you have 1955. You have expanded, and you have a big door for the
The trucks.
trucks.
That's when he was working for Tom Pinkham's repairs.
And you're still selling gas.
Yes,
Because after a while you didn't sell gas.
that's right.
This is the garage here again with the big door, and of course we're looking at change to Gulf gas, and you can see the sign Gilman Bouchard, probably 1960s. And they're between you and the road, huh?
That's it, yeah.
And that's where you had your cars.
Yeah.
Dodge, Plymouth, Chrysler. 1941, look at that car in Connecticut with Gilman and his wife on the right, and who's on the left?
Eddie Thibodeau and Bertha.
And these are relatives?
Yeah, she's
Okay.
my godmother. They're both my godparents, actually.
Okay. Oscar Bouchard and his wife, now that's your grandfather.
Yeah.
And
That's no, that's my grandfather.
Yeah, that's what I said.
Yeah.
Your grandfather.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, not parents, brothers and sisters.
So this is the children of Oscar Bouchard.
Yeah.
Your grandfather. And Edmund is in there, and Dominique is in there, and
Yeah.
and your father. Lester and his two daughters, and say that again?
Tammy is in California, and Sherry is in New Hampshire.
Okay. This is the 1940s, huh? In front of the garage.
No, I'm 54
54.
because Linda is in there, and she was born in 46, 50, 50 or 52, something like that.
So there's you, Linda, and Diane,
9,
your two sisters.
51.
Ah, there's Gilman Bouchard as we knew him on Eagle Lake in his boat. Here we go way back to Damas Bouchard, who was Lester's great-great-grandfather in the 1800s, him and his wife, Damas Bouchard. Lester and his Diane's dog, you say, huh?
Yeah.
Named Shadow?
Shadow, yeah. 92.
1992. The family and Mrs. Bouchard at the funeral of Mr. Bouchard. The whole family got together for the funeral. Oh, this is the house we're in right now.
Yeah.
And this was built when?
1977.
1977. That's your parents' home. So they were married 50 years in 1991. They married in 41. And,
Yeah, in June of 41.
and the following years when you lost your dad. That's how I remember them. Remember him especially. Okay, your children and grandchildren at your 30th wedding anniversary, Diane and Lester. We've been having a good time here all day, talking about your life and your family there, Lester. We were in Florida one time, I don't know how long ago, when we heard that your garage, which you were still operating, right?
Yes.
When was that?
That happened in 1955, April 30th,
What?
1960, 2005.
2005, so that's a long time.
Yeah.
But it's 7 years already.
Yeah.
And winter time or this time of the
Wintertime,
year?
April 30th.
Yeah. Because we always went to Florida for April.
Yeah.
And here it is.
We had gone out that night with the Guyons, and I think we're at the Dipperies. Anyway, we came back home, and
Was that a Saturday night?
Saturday night. And I don't know if we were home for 15 minutes or so, we get a phone call. Bus services from the town office, and I think you want to go to your garage. I think you're having a fire. So Don and I jumped in the car and we came over.
You lived where you live now?
Yeah.
On the Frenville Road.
And luckily, I had an apartment upstairs. Luckily, nobody was there. And the last guy that left there was Brad, because I had 3 tenants up there in one apartment. Brad Plord was there. Bart Plord was there.
You lived there?
Yeah. And that night, he was going to stay home. Had he stayed there with the smoke and the alienation, he could have passed in the fire. But that night, his nephew called him. His girlfriend, Bart's girlfriend, was babysitting for, I think it was Dale, I'm not sure. But the nephew called Bart, says, "Why don't you come over and pass the night with us? I'm lonely, I want you home, I want you here." So he took off.
So how late was it?
I'm not sure, but when...
10:30?
Huh?
About 10:30 when they called us.
Yeah, 10:30 when you went there, and you get there, was all in flame?
Yeah.
No, not quite yet, no, but it was, no, it was smoking in all corners.
Oh, okay, so where did it start? Do you know?
I think that the fire chief says it sounded like it was towards the cellar. But...
Don't know what.
I don't know.
Now that's quite a thing there. We're talking about last week we had Netto's House of Furniture go up. Now we have Dodge, Chrysler. The garage go up. Been here for over 60 years.
Over 60 years, yeah.
And there you are. There you see your business go up. No way you can save anything in there. No loss of life.
No.
Another big fire for Fort Kent, huh?
Yes. Dad and I, well, Dad started it, that we gave service to the community for, I had written it down as 59 years. Yeah, 59 years. And from 2005 to 2006, I was still open, but in a small trailer in the parking lot, trying to get rid of the rest of the cars I had in the lot.
Oh, okay.
And buying insurance, paying insurance and everything else. But some of the cars, some dealers helped me to take them off my hands, which was a great help.
Yeah.
And the others, I think we had to get rid of, or Chrysler bought something like 5 or 6 cars that was left.
So what happened there? Did you have a lot of cars at that time?
I had about 35 cars in the lot with trucks.
Wow. And none of them burned? Or
No. Everything was on the parking lot, and
Oh.
Yeah.
By that time, the parking lot was across the street
that's
as
right.
well.
Yeah.
So you had expanded quite a bit.
Yeah.
And so now, what do you do?
Well, now I'm selling.
You're selling those cars, getting rid of them, and is there talk of rebuilding, or what's happening there?
Well, there was talk of rebuilding, but by the time I got rid of the units and the economy was as it was, plus my health wasn't that 100%, I figured if I put money back into a business, rebuild it, the insurance would have paid for it, all right. But what would I have to get? How would I get rid of it? How long am I going to be lasting to work it?
Now, what year were you born again?
42.
42. So
I was
now-
actually 62 when it burned.
Okay. And so, yeah, you're almost
I
at
was, yeah.
retirement age, yeah. Now, you talk about your health there. You started having breathing problems?
Breathing problems back in 2002. And,
Just started a little bit? And
yeah,
didn't have a cold or nothing like
Nothing.
that?
I was smoking, of course.
Been smoking a long time?
Yeah.
Most of your life?
19 years old.
Yeah.
I was out golfing that night. I was golfing with Phil Pelsey, as a matter of fact. And it was raining.
You're not supposed to golf in the rain.
It don't rain on a golf course. But anyway, when I got home, I was sitting on the couch, on a recliner, and watching TV with Diane, and all at once I got a hard time breathing. So I went to the bathroom. He seemed to relieve a little bit, so I went back and sit in the living room, and the same thing again. So Diane says, "You're having a hard time breathing, you." "Yeah." "Let's go." So she brought me to the hospital. They kept me, John Bouchard was the doctor's name. He kept me there for 3 days. He says, "You're going to be on oxygen." No, I'm not going to be on oxygen. Well, says, "Your stats are going to have to go up. they don't, you're going to have to. She says, what happened? She says, I don't know, I was out golfing. All at once I came home and says, I couldn't breathe. So that's when they diagnosed me with COPD. And they put me on puffers.
Uh-huh.
But I was at the hospital for 3 days. And got back home, then. On puffers, no oxygen didn't need it. So everything was going good. But Lister was still cheating a little bit, having a cigarette once in a while.
How much did you smoke a day at your best? Or worse, whatever you want to call it.
The worst is when we'd go out and we'd go dancing, maybe it's pack and a half. But usually a pack of cigarettes was a daily thing.
Yeah.
But.
And you never had trouble before?
No.
Did you have other kinds of trouble, like heart
nothing,
or?
Nothing. My heart, my pressure is low. My cholesterol was high a little bit, but not dangerously high. Now it's okay. My only problem is breathing.
Did you have a break there? Did you have a time where you felt okay for a while? Or
yeah, after I got to the hospital the first time, I was feeling good enough that I thought I could smoke. But when it hit me back, what year was it that I went back and they put me on oxygen?
About 205 after the fire.
Anyway.
Okay, so this started in 202.
Yeah.
And then after the fire, that's when you have to have oxygen. Now, this oxygen is it daily? You have to have it, huh?
I sleep with it now. And if I do too much, I need it daily.
Because I see you sometimes on the golf course.
Yeah, and
with
I
it.
do it. Yeah, oh yeah.
And sometimes you don't have it.
No, on the golf course I have it all the time.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah. In the cart. Not that I have it on me, though, but
oh, it's in the cart.
I hit and I go in the cart and put it on, and
okay.
I go to the next shot.
That supplies you with oxygen.
Yeah.
And allows you to breathe well. Now, as far as how did you take up golf? That's not something.
Oh my God!
That came. Natural.
This happened in 1964 or 5. Nelson was in Massachusetts, working for GM. He started golfing out there.
Well, he's one of our best golfers.
Yeah. He comes home on the weekend or for a week or whatever. Says, Lester says, I'm bringing it with me today. Where are we going? On a Sunday. We're going to Birch Point. What's that? Oh, I said, we're going golfing. What? Yeah, I gotta go golf. So I went there and borrowed a set of clubs.
Lester, Nelson's your cousin.
Yeah, first cousin. So I golfed, come back home. Within 3 weeks, I had a set of golf clubs.
So you liked it right away?
Oh, yeah. But the first year, I wasn't sure, though. I'd go and I'd get frustrated a little bit, and I said, I'm going to put that away, but I...
Always at Birch Point?
Yeah, that was the only place at the time.
It's amazing, huh?
Yeah.
That I did the same thing with my dad when he thought it was crazy.
Yeah.
And I think he was 55 years old. And the next day, he went to buy a set of clubs. So this has been great for you, this golfing.
Oh, yeah.
And you enjoy that still, even though you have a COPD. You bring your oxygen, and you still hit the ball quite far.
Well,
you're better than I am, so I'm not going to talk any more about this because we're at the end of the tape.
We are.
And I just want to thank you for taking an afternoon off and
telling us
about, this is the history of Fort Kent.
Yeah.
Your dad, I know you loved him a lot, and it's obvious. And he was a big part of our town. Imagine selling cars. Fort Kent's quite a place, huh? I noticed we have all the snowmobile dealerships in town. We have all the cars, not yours anymore.
Yeah.
It was a place where you could buy a tractor, any kind of tractor, when farming was big, and any car. Had a Buick dealership.
That thing is off, right?
No, it's not.
Nope.
It's ending. You want to say goodbye?
Well, I just want to stress that Dad gave it all his his good to the town of Fort Kent, and
Yeah.
I only wish you'd have been around to get
Yeah.
appreciated.
Well, you had a good life with him,
Yeah.
so.
Thank you very much for
Okay.
sharing this with us.
See you, the Lester Bouchard here.